Hi, this is Lyndall with Watery Wishes, and today I have the unboxing of the Simon Says Stamp November card kit with the stamp set called Thanks and Leaves. Now you get these 2 tags and those 2 smaller 4-bar envelopes, and you get the orange peel A2 size metallic envelope, the Tim Holtz snarky small talk stickers that have 4 white and 4 black, and they have the same quotes on the black and the white pages. You get the Ideology adornments, these 6 butterflies. They are really beautiful. You get the bronze sequins from Simon Says Stamp. So shiny. You get the stamp set, which the kit's named after, called Thanks and Leaves, with some really lovely handwriting font. I believe that's Christina Werner's writing. You can check out her YouTube channel, and she is Star of May on Instagram. You get the orange peel, I think it's green leaf ivory, and the 100-pound Nina Desert Storm cardstock. So you get the 4 pieces of card, you get the 6x8 stamp set, you get the Tim Holtz snarky small talk stickers, you get the butterfly adornments, you get the bronze sequins, you get the A2 metallic orange peel envelope, the 2 4-bar craft envelopes, and the 2 tags. And that is this month's kit. Now on to the card. Where I live, we don't really get autumn. It's just hot all the time, and we might get a week of winter. But I figured since it was an autumnal stamp set that I would make some autumnal cards. So I've just used some Distress Oxides. I really only have very limited colors in my oxides. I have 1 real green, 1 real red, 1 real orange, and I think I've got nearly every blue. But as you know, blue isn't an autumnal color, so it didn't get used. So I just smooshed those onto my Teflon mat, that came with the Tim Holtz glass mat, and then I dried them, making sure that they were really dry. I used my powder tool, and I'm stamping the leaves out of the stamp set in clear embossing ink, and then I'm coating them in clear embossing powder and heat setting them as I go. Now I don't use every leaf in the set, but I use a fair few of them. And the idea here is I'm going to do the emboss resist technique, and it will leave behind these really bright different colored leaves, and I'm going to color in between those with some distress ink. So I won't show you all the stamping. I did do somewhat of a shortcut with some of the smaller stamps. I put them all together on a block and stamped them as a group, which saved a bit of time. So if you're doing pattern stamping like this, you can, if you've got a lot of small stamps, you can stamp them as a group like that, and it will save a lot of time. So I won't make you watch all the stamping, and here is the card with all the heat embossing complete. And now I'm going to get some distress ink and I'm going to do that embossed resist over it. So I'll coat it in the vintage photo and then you'll see the leaves pop. I tried doing it with a sponge and I felt it with a brush, sorry, and it wasn't dark enough for my liking. There wasn't enough contrast, so I went with one of the Tim Holtz sponge tools, the blending tools. And then you can see they really start to pop against that dark brown colour. Now I did 2 of these panels and I'm only doing 1 card. I'll use the other one at a later date. But I really wanted to use stuff that nearly everyone would have and the stuff out of the kit for this card. And if you don't have distress inks or distress oxides, you really should. So here I've taken that thank you sentiment and I'm going to stamp that with some more of that embossing ink from Simon, and I'm going to heat set this in white. Now the 2 embossing powders I'm using, the clear and the white, are both from Hero Arts, but they're just regular embossing powders, and mainly from brand to brand they're pretty much the same, although I have heard that Brutus Monroe has a really bright white, but against an orange you're not going to really notice how much brighter the white is, so it doesn't really matter on something like this. So now I'm going to adhere that the leaf panel down to some of that orange peel cardstock that came in the kit, and I'm doing this with score tape because it is very warped and I want it to stick down really well. So I get this panel on and then I will stick the thank you to another piece of cardstock, and that cardstock that's underneath, I just went straight to that. It's a bit of Nina. I went straight to it with the vintage photo and just coloured that cardstock with the vintage photo. And as you can see, I've cut it out so that it's slightly bigger than the orange piece of cardstock. And now I'll just glue that down to the card. Now that they're glued together and slightly offset. Now I missed a bit of footage coming up. For some reason I didn't get the footage where I put in some dashed lines, sort of Ashley Tucker style. If you haven't ever watched any of Ashley's videos, you should definitely check her YouTube channel out. She does a lot of dashed lines, but it looks really cute on her cards. And here's me just trying to find the placement of where I'm going to stick these Nouveau drops. Now, I'm actually putting them down out of the bottle because I want them to take up some of that oxide ink that they're sitting on, and they will. Well, you don't see it in the last shot because I didn't take photos for this card, but they do take on a little bit of the brown. So that's the simple card to go with this card kit. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike button. I'd love it if you subscribed, and don't forget, have fun crafting your imagination. Bye.